Good afternoon, I'm Richard Berkeley, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about TIE, theatre in English. Why on earth in Warsaw do we want a theatre in English? Now, theatre in English is something that we come up with in order to give a number of people in the community a chance. A chance to do what? A chance to increase their employment possibilities, a chance to develop their language skills, and perhaps a third option is the chance to explore ideas through the medium of a second language, which is quite often easier than doing it through your own mother tongue, where there are so many cultural and social restrictions. Let's look at the first point, career possibilities. Now, what sort of people need English to develop their career? Well, obviously, in business life, it goes without saying, English is invaluable. You've got to have English. But perhaps you've got to have an aspect of English which is not my number one priority, because the sort of English that's used in corporate life tends to be a newly developing language called Irish. And Irish is continental business and academic speak. Now, strangely enough, people who use Irish, which really is the European continental business community, quite often find difficulty in understanding mother tongue English speakers. There are a lot of young people, particularly young people, who've learnt a lot of English but have never had the opportunity to use it in a creative environment. In other words, I mean in an environment outside business. I'm not saying that business isn't creative, but it doesn't necessarily require the use of English in a creative way. So, if you're involved in corporate life on the European continent, perhaps when you go to England or when you go to the United States or Australia, you're going to need to develop those English language skills a little bit more to feel comfortable to make your point. But there is a second group of people I'd like to address. Those are the young actors who see the world as their oyster, who see the world as the place where they want to work, not merely Poland. And this is very sensible because the cinema and theatre worlds are now global. And what allows you to travel into these worlds is English, not Irish. So we need English if we're actors. Take that a stage further, and there is a third group of people who have studied English at school, at university, who speak extremely well. But they've never been in an environment where they can develop their English language skills in a creative way. They've been geared towards academic life or towards business life, but they've never been in an environment where that language has been used to express their inner thoughts, to express complex emotional needs, to play with the language. These are things we want to develop through TIE. An environment, a forum where English can be used in a creative way to express ideas that perhaps in business are not expressed, to express emotions which perhaps in other environments are not expressed, is a very good thing. So we have three groups. We have the business community, we have the acting community, and we have all those people, probably you sitting at home watching this, who would love to be in an environment where English can be used in a creative way, and thus expand not only your own understanding of the language, but perhaps your own understanding of yourself. And of course, there's one more aspect to this, public speaking. Now, unfortunately, most of us have to sell our ideas, and we have to sell our ideas through standing up and doing the talking. A lot of people find this very difficult. But the more comfortable you are with the language, the easier it becomes. Since quite a lot of the selling, of the talking, of the public speaking, of the presenting is going to have to be done in English, TIE is offering a forum where these skills can be exercised and stretched. So we'll be looking at voice, we'll be looking at how to structure a presentation, how to capture the audience's attention, how to work out what it is you really want to be saying. Because, you know, very often people haven't quite worked out what it is they want to say, and then they wonder why the audience hasn't really understood. So, lots and lots of potential here, and in fact they're all interchangeable, because an actor needs to be creative with language, a business person needs to be creative with language, an academic needs to be able to sell an idea. We all ought to use language better. So here's your chance. See what we're doing. Get involved with us. Come along, join our workshops, and expand your language.